Bess's children.
I should have stabbed it with the knife that was in my other hand.
Just floating the other way. Edward.
Edward is... Ugh! You need to talk to us. What is happening?
Punching at the tentacles and ripping at them.
All right there, Ugh. So Edward is.
There's all this inky blackness coming towards Edward. I don't know if he knows what it is.
Yep. I think Edward is going to cast another fly.
Okay, defensively, or are you going to take a smack?
We're going to do it defensively. We're going to cast this one on Sam. So that we're going to try to cast it on Sam.
Sure.
It fails. He fizzles the spell.
He got some water in his mouth and he's choking. Bessa. Bessa's biting the chobo, or going to try to.
Eat that chobo. Grappled chobo.
Missing. Because of the ink. So it swims closer. It's actually not threatening Sam anymore. Callie is just running back up to the manor, I guess.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
To try to find her her master. So she's almost at the manor. Ugg needs to make a fortitude save versus the poison. I think this is the second one you make. Oh no,
22.
he's failed everyone. So
He's failed everyone, so this is the first one he made.
Okay, you need to... this octopus...
Need 2 consecutive, or?
Cure 2 saves. Yep.
2 saves. Okay, so let's save 1.
The chobo bleeds for 3.
Ugg gets a chance to fight.
Oh yeah, Ugg's turn. Yeah, sorry.
You just pop its head off. You rip a tentacle off and stick it up its beak.
Yep, that is the plan.
And hopefully Bessa will take it as an offering.
37 plus. Are you dead yet? 18 damage.
Plus 7.
Oh,
so 25
sorry,
damage.
plus 7. Yeah.
Okay, so 32. Okay, the octopus stops moving.
Let go of it, fly away, Ugg.
That is exactly what's happening. He lets go of the thing and flies away.
Okay. Bessa takes a bite because she's in aggro mode.
Yep.
AC 28.
Hits.
Nips at Ugg as he's flying away for 24 damage.
Ugh, Ugg's taking a beat.
Ugg, yeah, this is... One of these things.
The mouth kind of snaps at Ugg a little bit as he goes by. Oh! Flies away with this ripping of flesh as one of his ribs is visible. Roger is going. I'm just going to remove him from initiative. He has hero villain pointed his way to victory, to relative safety while people calm the hell down.
Arlen, I'll bet it's gonna be hilarious with the "We spent 10,000 on your armor, Roger."
Oh,
such a dick.
The town and the elemental. The elemental's still trying to beat the piss out of Roger. Rolls a nat 1. Oops, nat 20. So it misses. Oh, we're just gonna splash each other now, is what Roger says. And, Sam. Okay, I guess the town includes the people up here. Damien, are you letting anyone know? Are you just quietly drinking your coffee and watching all of this? Arlen was arranging fights or something. Who's in the room with you? Ahmed's characters are not here. The two elves are. Evander goes to the edge, sees you looking at something.
Seems to be a bit of commotion.
Sister, you may want to come over here and have a look.
If I'm not mistaken, that just might be an angry mob forming.
He just throws open the window. Zita comes wandering over.
Oh shit!
Just as you see Bessa like taking a hunk out of Ugg and tentacles going down into the lake. people screaming. And...
I will go find Arlen.
Bess's children, they're making noises. The mother looks over towards the children. Edward. Oh, Sam, sorry. Sam gets to go. Yeah.
Sam's gonna... Well, knife the... Wait a sec, this punchy thing doesn't work. Let's stab it.
Stabbing down at the water at the telltale signs of the water elemental.
Yep, AC 29.
Yeah, it's 3 hit points left.
Okay, why won't you die? 17,
okay,
stabby stab.
It just dissipates, and Roger's like, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, not Roger, sorry, Edward's like, where did it go? I don't see it anymore.
We should probably go now.
Bessa reaches into the inky darkness and kind of pulls up the chobo in her mouth and swims over to her children.
Oh, who's a good mama?
Callie running up to the Grey Otter Lodge.
So many fucking stairs.
She runs up into the stairs and kind of half bursts in through a window, like an open window.
Why would they build their town on the side of a goddamn mountain?
Because of a nice, look at the nice view.
Well, they don't have something flat is usually the reason.
Ugh, poison save.
Oh yes.
Okay.
33.
I got rid of the next 2 poison saves you need to make. The poison is now out of the system, doing its damage. The chobo is bleeding and probably dead. The water elemental is gone. It feels like you guys are out of combat, unless you're attacking Bessa anymore.
No. Nope. Our fact-finding investigation has been successful. We don't know that we committed murder, so we think that we're going to go and finish organizing fights.
So Bessa, I think now, is nudging at her child, who is unconscious and not getting up.
Get up, oh, God.
It drops the chobo body and is now grabbing its child's body in its mouth, kind of carefully, and then I guess everyone else gets a chance to react. Edward's like, fuck this, getting back on the log.
Ugg will fly down and pick up Sam and Edward and fly them to shore.
Fly, dragging them to the water to the shore?
Because fuck swimming.
Okay. You guys can see a bunch of people around this priest body floating in the water as people are trying to drag it over, and it's got a crossbow bolt sticking right out of the back of its head.
What the fuck's Roger?
You don't know? There's lots of commotion. The canoe, the upside canoe just floating away.
Don't worry, the baby is sleeping. It's fine. What happened to him?
It's fucking murdered! So you yell somebody in the water. It's murdered by one of those gladiators!
Oh, shit. Do you guys see Roger?
No.
Okay, you guys get up to where you had launched in, where some of your clothing is, and you kind of go after some of your equipment that you left behind. Nothing's stolen. There's too much chaos, but you do see one of Roger's one of his quivers or one of his bolt cases. He carries lots of them, but you do see a spilled bolt case near the door to this boathouse.
Okay.
Bessa is nudging her child to a nearby shore, she's nudging it along, kind of grabs it, and they go swimming away. They're staying near the top of the water. You can hear her kind of making roars. And I think at this point in time, it's a good place to just pause for a moment. When is Ahmed joining us again? Because
this is going to be this is an Arlen. I don't take the shits. I just disturb them. I believe is the stance we're taking for this one.
This is an Arlen moment, I think.
Yep.
Awesome. I gotta take a quick washroom break, and just chat with the stream while I'm gone, and decide your next moves, guys.
I honestly didn't think it would go that sideways.
That went very sideways.
I just wanted to see how hard they were to fight. That's all I wanted to know. Was
they were surprisingly hard to fight. Why would you ever bring a boat on that awful lake?
No. Well, the Chobo, man. The Chobo was ridiculous.
No, that's nuts.
But Bessie, against a normal person, Bessie would destroy them. You fall in the water with a dozen hit points left, and one chomp and you're dead. Haja.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, no. The little baby thing. So we were kind of under the impression that it was a fish before. It's not really a fish.
It's
It's int 2. It's not int 1. And smack the fish around, see what happened, and it was yeah.
Yeah, it's an awful creature.
So, but see, the Chobos are not sympathetic in the slightest.
Oh no, they're.
Bessa's sympathetic, right? If you just have her mouth closed, you'd be like, "Oh, look, it's a big herbivore."
It probably makes sounds or something like that. So much for finding a place to train.
So much for getting our fights in and not getting sold at the end of the season. Maybe they'll fight us. Maybe they'll fight us with really shit odds. We just need to.
On the bright side,
Roger on the altar of law.
Yeah. Damien will defend him.
Thank you, Bunny.
Adorable.
We were trying to decide what sounds Bessa would make. If you closed her mouth and had her make whale sounds, then she'd be like, "Oh, look at it. It's a big herbivore."
Okay, so there's a big mob that appears. They fish the priest body out of the water. There are a bunch of other priests that go. I drop dice everywhere. If there's a bunch of other priests that probably go to try to tend to Bessa, maybe to help her with her child. Pretty soon there are people that surround the Grey Otter Lodge as the gladiators are retreating to there. And some official-looking elf does arrive and basically says that they're under house arrest, and that the members of the Circus of Dread aren't to leave the building.
Stay on the inside or the outside?
No, they allow you to stay on the inside, which is relatively comfortable. Arlen isn't in the lodge at this moment. He was talking to they assure you that he is safe and that they're going to call for a magistrate. Meanwhile, you think that there is a search party forming as there are some people that are patrolling through towns, looking under boats, in houses. There are some armed half-elves that have local insignias, probably marking them as part of like the sheriff's office of Lakeport Town. They search the Grey Otter Lodge, looking for one slave by the name Roger Redgull.
This is exactly what we need with the possibly semi-illegitimate tattooing and crap like that. No.
Meanwhile, Roger.
Yeah, he gets arrested. He's got no reason not to throw you guys under the bus.
You know what? I'm gonna look up let's just quickly create a lonely little beach that Roger is pulling himself up onto. I'm gonna go to the left here.
Well, this is one of those, like, if this was Ashoka's group, Roger would never be found again. Or he might be found, but be missing a piece of his brain. Or unable to speak. One of these sorts of things.
So we'll draw a little bit of a
jawbone was eaten by a fish.
We'll draw a little bit of a top-down map here, as Roger finds a little beach area, with some copse of trees at the edge of it.
I'm gonna go grab fluids. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Maybe a large fallen tree log. And he's now kind of wading through a pebbled beach. He can hit bottom as he's got the canoe and he's looking out underneath the canoe. Do we have a canoe token?
I don't know.
A canoe, eh? Do we have canoes? What is that? It's a big turtle. I want a wood canoe. Cool. And we'll use our token tool to create a little wood canoe token. Because why the hell not? We have the technology. We can do it. We can do it. Token tool is just loading. Wood. Capture screen. Oops. I don't want to buy the canoe. I want to take a screen capture of it. Create a token for the canoe. It's on a... Oh well, whatever. Save as. Canoe. There's the two-man canoe.
Roger's the little man in a canoe.
Okay. As if to stymie the search party, it does begin to rain a little bit. Maybe that storm front that you guys traveled out of has finally caught up to Lakeport Town.
Well, it'll be funny to see that guy wipe out Lakeport Town with us trapped in a building.
And the Roger, he doesn't have to fight a chobo, but he's like, "What the?" As something goes squirting and darting by his leg. Fuck. So he says he's trying to get out of the water. There are a bunch of littler chobos that are coming after him.
Chobo swarm. Chobo swarm.
That's just cruel and unusual.
That would be cruel and awful.
Yeah, there we go. Do they have all the attacks too? No, they're tiny. Okay. Just see what a giant octopus or a blue-ringed octopus is. All the variants. No, these are good. Oh, you gotta be looking. How many chobo attack him? 2d3, and I roll 2.
Dunk dunk, I win.
So there they are. But they're baby chobo.
Chobo.
They're still the size of the baby dinos, though. Give me a perception check for Roger. They were sneaking up on him, or they were kind of camouflaged along the pebble beach as he was moving. There's a -4 to the check because of the rain, and their stealth is +20. 2 at 1d20 plus 20. So he is surprised by the baby chobo who are waiting in the pebbles. He's right now into the water up to his waist. As he's like holding onto the canoe, he's like something brushed by his leg. He's like, "What the?"
Chobo on his knob end.
Right, and now we need to roll initiative. He did get surprised, but we need to roll initiative to see how the first round will go. So, what's
He's got a
Roger's?
+5.
5. Okay.
22.
All right, and then the baby chobo, they have a +3 to their initiative. We'll call them adolescent chobo. Not quite babies, because I kind of do like the idea of a chobo swarm.
The thing is, when octopus gets small enough, they suddenly get to this point where they're really cute and they're all head and no tentacle, and then it's like, oh, look at gooba dooba dooba.
Yeah, the little like
thing up, it's ridiculous.
pufferfish-looking heads. Yeah. I really like octopi. I like octopi and elephants. Apparently, I like tentacles. All right, so nose tentacles, arm tentacles, tentacles, hair tentacles.
Just really like phallusy things in general.
Hair tentacles, like the Boba Fett and his race, or whatever they're
Dreads.
called. The tentacle dreads. All right, Roger. Roger's surprised. These things, we're waiting for them. They are small, so let's reduce their size.
Stab him, Roger. Stab him. You have a dagger.
They surprise him, so he walked kind of in the middle of two of them. They 5-foot step and attack him. They are going to bite him. They're not quite flanking. This is against a flat-footed Roger who isn't wearing his armor. He wasn't swimming in his full plate.
Okay, so AC 13.
Okay, he got 2 bites from the chobos.
At least we get it. Keep his armor.
You'd only be at a -2 for that swim. I'm just saying.
4 and 2 damage and 2 fort saves.
Okay. 19 and 19.
Okay, it stings a lot. He's like, "Ah, fuck! Fuck you, you fucking twerps!" Like attacking his legs as he's swimming.
I have confidence in Roger. He'll be eating chobo for dinner tonight.
He'll poison himself eating poison.
His full plate would only be a -2, so it wouldn't be unreasonable. We'll say he's got it in a sack. There was enough time for him to grab his backpack.
His swim would be 7 with the full plate on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you little runts. Okay, he's gonna unload on these things. I think they get cover because they're in water, but they're in like 5 feet of water, or less than 5 feet of water.
Yeah.
It's -2 per 5 feet of water. Oh, cover plus -2 per 5 feet of water.
Yeah. So I don't know who's rolling for the Roger.
Plus 15. Plus.
If it's not total cover, they don't get the cover bonus.
They don't get the cover because Roger's.
Oh yeah,
because Roger's awesome.
He's sticking the crossbow just slightly into the water and pulling the trigger. Boom! He hits one of
AC
them.
27.
Yeah.
AC 30.
Critical threat.
AC 21.
Critical hit.
13.
Not a critical hit. Oh no, miss. Sorry.
1d10 plus 8. That's actually 1d10 plus 9. So 17 damage on the first one.
Is that including his favorite enemy bonus?
He doesn't have favorite enemy against this, so it should be the default one inside. They're not humans or undead.
Yeah, see, but he gets half of his highest. Still.
I think that's isn't that auto calculated in this? I thought you put that in his attack routine where you say or +2 +2. Oh shit. Okay, so it's not there. No, it's all +2 +2. Okay, so additional +2 damage there.
So 18 damage on one of them?
19 damage.
Okay, it's got 1 hit point left.
Okay, then the crit. So 31.
31 on the crit chart. Is a standard crit.
Okay, so 34 damage from the crit.
Okay, he kills one of them and he's got one down to 1 hit points. Then it's the adolescent Chobo. It lets out this 10-foot radius, kind of like inky blackness as it's biting his... It'll go full round attack and then send out the inky blackness. It was in the middle of like trying to wrap itself around Roger's head or leg, I guess.
Okay.
Let's see.
18.
Let's see the little octopus.
Yeah, Bunny. This one didn't. This one went pretty raffle stomping.
AC 19 on a Roger.
That hits.
Okay. Get hit for 2 damage and a fort save. Okay, he's like, oh fuck, this fucking stings. And then while it's got 8 legs, it's small enough that it all just counts as one tentacle kind of thing. So it's tentacle grab on Roger, AC 18.
Hits.
Okay, so that actually just does a grab. It doesn't do any damage.
He can't use his crossbow to grab.
The grapple attempt is really weenie.
Because he has a heavy crossbow.
20 on the CMB.
It doesn't do any damage. It just gives him a grab.
It just gives a grab. Yep.
I don't think that hits.
Yeah.
Fucking get off me! He's just sort of kneeling in the water and scraping along the bottom.
All right, 15 plus 2 minus 2 minus 2.
I do feel it's a good thing you didn't roll 6 on that 2d3.
So 21, 20, 21.
Fires into the water. A few moments later, Rogers gathered his boat and 2 chobo bodies onto the beach. It begins to rain profusely, like a storm kicks up. He tips the canoe over underneath the with the log. He's kind of using it as shelter. He's miserably sitting underneath the upended canoe, eating raw chobo legs and muttering to himself. It looks like the people that were going to go out into the lake to have a look around to see if Roger was in the water or if they found him, come back to the town due to the storm. Roger's like, The fuck's there? Of course, it's a scene you guys don't know. There's a strange, thunderous clap nearby.
Does Roger put on his full plate?
Yeah, Roger's got his full plate on. What the fuck's there?
Conducts electricity now.
Just a heavy rain, a lot of wind.
How long is this later?
Like an hour later?
This is
58 minutes later.
58 minutes later? Because somebody in our party, I think, has a scry prepped. So
Yeah, which takes an hour to cast.
It takes an hour to cast.
Yeah. Plus, you got to organize it. Yeah. Roger hears a squawk from a very angry, kind of twisted griff. Oh no, not these fucking things. Throw down your crossbow, manling. What the? Roger turns around and pointing his crossbow into the darkness, into the rain, and sees a many-antlered, helmed man kind of at the tree line, pointing a vicious-looking clawed hand towards him with a spell on his lips. I have a token for the Storm Priest now.
All right.
That's what that guy looks like.
Dissipation.
He's got a pair of twisted griffs with him.
There will be no sympathy for that Storm Priest. He's far too ugly.
And wrapped up and tied to one of the twisted griffs is a man by the name of Valen.
He'd like some alive.
I think his name is Valen. Is it Valen?
Valen of the Vastwood.
Vastwood, yeah.
I think I anticipated this, and I dragged his token into this map. I'm gonna go grab him.
Yeah,
You anticipated this. You anticipated this exact.
No,
Actually,
no.
Once I said I grabbed the fish, I could see how you could anticipate the rest. Actually, Roger
I
does something
anticipated
dickish and needs to run away. That's
Valen following you. I didn't anticipate him getting captured by the Storm Priest. That was the random encounter.
Roll. Yep.
And then this. How do you predict this? I don't fucking. Roger getting into trouble, okay, but it's like an inevitability, not.
I'm just imagining Ahmed at whatever family function he's at, just like angrily eating nachos, or like at the dip thing, like just, do you think you have enough dip? And he's just.
Well, the Storm Priest is building a little bit of a party.
Aw, dude, fighting Roger. I guess Ugg and Edward and I think that's it. Actually, we don't have that many elves or many humans. Oh, Damien would get absolutely blown up by Roger. Like not just a little bit either, like completely destroyed.
I think this point we need Ahmed here to play Arlen's reaction to this. I think the leader needs to be here.
Yeah.
So maybe
I have a feeling he's gonna blame me. He's gonna blame Sam for this.
Why don't we take a look at the gladiatorial
He
ludus?
won't be 100% wrong.
Mostly wrong. All I did was slap a fish around.
No.
It attacked me. If it had an invisibility spell, it wouldn't be on anymore because he touched my log.
You could have swam away. You decided, oh,
Why don't we go all the way back to Vatapol, which is the major city nearby in the Duchy of Vade, and see what the Conclave of Crimson Scale is up to while we're waiting for Ahmed to join.
Many weeks ago.
Yeah, many weeks ago. We're kind of going back in time. Well, it's a good time to maybe sync the timeline. So, hey, we promised spreadsheets. Because spreadsheets are the highlight of all Twitch streaming. All right, so we've got the Conclave of Crimson Scale with a bunch of vassals in it. Yeah, you think Roger's an asshole. Whew. We've got some planning to do for week 25 of the gladiatorial ludus. We have a decision that needs to be made. Now, this decision can be made without Magnus's input. Magnus is the Corsican barbarian, picture Conan.
Because he's currently in a coma, isn't
because he? Magnus is going to take a full 5 days to recover from the coma that he was put in by the Vino Manticore and its poisonous fumes and breath weapons and that sort of thing. So Damien has already left at this point to travel with the Circus of Dread, and we've got Ashoka who's trying to coax a captured doppelganger. We've got Phineas, who's doing lots of crafting. I think Phineas is just crafting for days. He's crafting something called a Dungeoneer's Ring.
He is going to stop crafting to train.
Okay.
Because that just makes sense.
Magnus's armor is done. I had a look at the kind of updated optional rules for crafting.
Okay.
You can craft armor and weapons pretty damn quickly. So I think the armor is done. So Magnus will wake up and
have some cool armor.
Yeah, we'll have his armor done. Now, those that are training to 9th level, I think need 2 blocks to train to 9th level, and I will double check.
All right.
As there was some training to do. Training rules. Training up to 8th is 700 gold and 10 days, and training to 9th is 900 gold and 10 days. So, Ashoka, Magnus, Phineas need to spend some time training.
Yep.
You could double the cost and have the time.
How much for 9th?
9th is 900. Ashoka,
Are
you taking 2 weeks of training or 1?
Ashoka will take 2 weeks to train, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so's Phineas. He doesn't have any money.
Okay.
No one pays him for all of his hard work.
Yes, they do. Damien is on the road, so we don't have to worry about him. Magnus will train after he recovers. So that's 2,700 gold pieces for the 9th level guys. Sid is still unconscious, so he is still MIA.
Mark, are you at that part of the sheet?
I'm not at any part of any sheet.
Okay,
I'm taking money off of my character sheet.
Oh. All right. How much was the level?
900. Doubled if you have the time.
Okay, so minus 900.
Oh, this could come off the ludus itself. I don't know if the ludus is paying for the master's training or not, but on-the-job training.
Are we doing that, or?
Well, we did just get our salary, so.
It's up to Ashoka and Phineas. They're the ones in charge of the books at this point.
Where are the books at? Like, I don't know where we're at for this, and I'm also here going, oh shit, I need to level this dude.
Ledger.
The ledger, you're at, I think we're 72 talents.
Yeah, I think we can afford to.
Yeah, just if you want fast training, they can pay for the extra speed, and then
yeah.
Okay, so you're getting the ludus to pay for it, so that's 900, 1,800, and then Zed needs training, which is another 700, so 2,500 for training. Oh, I'm missing Magnus, 3,400. Okay, so it feels like training and medical stuff will keep the ludus busy for a good amount of time. What are you guys doing with Sona and Fleas? And then who are you raising up into the 2 open slots you have in your ludus?
Is it time for Bannock Baden? I think it is. We gotta get him assessed first, though. Yeah.
No, he is already assessed.
He was assessed.
He
Okay.
is a heroic gladiator,
How many precisely do we need?
and his morale is okay, and his attitude's okay.
Bannock Baden would make a good addition to our ludus.
No, Trian. Yes, yes, he'd be very, and quite the attraction, I would imagine.
Alternately, Zargon and Zed. We do need 2. So be Bannock Baden
Yes.
and whom?
Right. I'm gonna change the map to Vatapole so that you can see who
Right.
who is talking. For those that are new to the stream, I shall be right back.
Who is 6? Underneath Bannock Baden in the rostering schedule. It sounds familiar. It's just obviously something we haven't spent a lot of.
Who is? Oh, that's the doppelganger.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, that won't.
Here.
Yeah, the doppelganger. That's me cohort, laddie.
Okay.
Well, we have old Vigo is going to die any day, so I would suggest either this Nova Skull Crusher or the new one we purchased, Quelzy.
Here's the massive city of Vatapole. Vatapole has the Vatapole Civic Arena, which is a Imperial-run gladiatorial arena. They've made some recent magical upgrades. The party does not, or the ludus does not know what exactly they do. They suspect that it has to do with nullifying magic in some way, shape, or form. The Circus of Dread is one gladiator school. And they're the ones that were up north in Lakeport Town. This is another gladiatorial school that is also controlled by the players. They're called the Conclave of Crimson Scale, and they were ultimately formed to help raise a red dragon from basically hatchling to something larger. It seems to be growing at a very large pace compared to what normal chromatic dragons should. So they're deciding who is going to be in their particular slots. Adam is controlling Ashoka, who is a snake man charmer / assassin, although everyone doesn't know he's an assassin. He's got a familiar, which is a maimed imp called Nem. You can thank Demon Lord Nemi for that name. Mark is playing Phineas, who is a straight-laced alchemist wizard crafter who
He's never ready for a fight.
He's never ready for a fight. He is sort of a drug addict, but at the same time, he's got a very busy work ethic, and he's got some ideas on how wizard laws should be run in this town. And then Ahmed is playing Magnus, who is a warrior barbarian from the north who is really bought into this gladiatorial fighting, and he's he runs the ludus, and even though he doesn't have to, he fights in the gladiatorial arena, and Ahmed is running him. And then they've got some secondary characters as well. The secondaries are Damien, who's actually off with the other group because of plot and because reasons, and then Zed, who is a druid monk half orc, also pretty straight-laced, and he's in charge of Zargon's education and keeping. Zargon is the little red dragon. And then they're deciding, they've got 2 open slots in their gladiatorial ludus. They're deciding who should go into those 2 open slots. Right now, their main gladiators are Sona, the Whipmaster Bard, the blue guy right here. Oh, Drain is gone. I'm just going to delete him. And Brog, who is a insane cannibalistic frogman that was brought aboard by Damien. He eats people.
Yeah.
And then Fleas, who is a somewhat gregarious, happy-go-lucky gladiator knoll, and
I'm counting good. Now I'm a gladiator. Whee!
right. So they're now deciding. They had mentioned Bannock Baden, who was a captured treant that they think might serve as a interesting gladiator. They've been slowly but surely coaxing it that they're its friend. And then they mentioned old Vigo. I heard you mentioned old Vigo and said that old Vigo's going to die any day now. He's just this really old half ogre who's trained as a sorcerer.
I would think that this would be a good time to put Zargon and Zed into the lineup.
We cannot force Zed to fight. He's not technically ours. I mean, if he's willing, by all means, I've seen him fight. He's quite good.
He is not a slave by contract.
Master, it would be very polite to invite Magnus into this decision-making. Perhaps we should nominate a very polite imp to speak on his behalf in this matter.
What the imp is suggesting is that he gets Magnus's vote.
I believe that Magnus should be part of this conversation. He's got, what, 3 days, so he's got an int 3?
Yeah. He's just sitting at a table going,
Magnus?
I'm just gonna make horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger sounds. He's sitting at the table. You've actually got him tied to a chair, and there's just like a mess of food around him.
My Corsican is such a lovely language.
Oh, yes, he is very messy now. Very messy indeed, Master. Perhaps he needs more time in his chair.
Magnus? Are you authorizing us to...
He's just drooling. He's got like bandages over his head.
Are you authorizing us to try to bring up Zargon and Zed as gladiators? What's his, like, favorite food? Like, the thing that he just likes?
Meat.
Could you?
Funny, he's got like an int of like 3 now.
Yeah, right now he's got like head injuries and all sorts of like poison in his body. So the poison is being leached out of him right now.
So we're gonna go fetch some ham.
He's trying to say ham, and he's really excited about it because 3 int 3 wisdom. Whoo, that's pretty on the low end of the human scale.
Zed and Zargon. Is this okay?
He's trying
Start
to say
taking
ham.
the ham and moving it up and down.
Yes, Master, I believe that is a confirmation.
He throws the ham at him in the face.
I would like to speak to Zed before giving my okay. See what he thinks about it. He's the one who's been training him this entire time, after all.
Of course we're going to have to speak with Zed.
Just sitting at the table eating. Chewing loudly.
Lowell, get in here.
Oh, yes, Master. Yes.
Magnus has clearly soiled himself once again. Please clean him up.
Yes, of course. Just gonna get slapped away. But, oh no!
Poopy.
3 int. I don't think you can say words.
Like
30 IQ. Can you say words?
So
I don't even know.
In D&D land, 3 int means you can understand the basics of language. 2 int means you can't. Like that's the hard threshold for understanding language. That's not talking. That's understanding. Before that, it's hand gestures and body language. That's it.
You're being handled like an animal. You have animal intelligence.
Right, because so 3 means you can handle them still, but words like actually could be like words instead of just like, "Hey boy, how you doing?" Could be like, "Screw you, you suck." And it's the same thing. It's the pitch of your voice and how you move that really got the dog to do the thing.
Okay, so did you get like? There's 2 against 1. You guys can vote anyways, but
Right.
You're making it look like it's Magnus's decision.
Yep. All right. So
Magnus's decision is nothing, and we both know it.
Magnus agrees. So we should have a talk with Zed to see if he volunteers.
If Zed volunteers to fight side by side with Zargon, and he thinks Zargon is ready for full-time gladiating, then fine.
Okay, you guys look outside and look for Zed, and Zed is practicing sparring with Nova, the redheaded half-orc barbarian woman who is also a slave in the Ludus.
And a Tempe.
Yep. They're using staves, and she looks frustrated as Zed is just put on a bunch of his AC feats or whatever it is that he does. I'm pretty sure he's got an awful AC. Fleas is off to the corner eating porridge and just sort of chuckling.
Where's the new one? I don't see her.
Nova?
No, the other Nagaji we
Whalesy.
purchased.
She is new and therefore locked in a cell after hours.
Quailsy, I believe is her name.
Well, if you say so. Are we keeping her locked up till Magnus is ready to introduce her?
I should probably introduce myself at some point.
If you wish.
I will make a token of Quilsy. Yeah, she's new. She's brought out during daily training. It looks like Nova and Zed are doing extracurricular training. Like there's not supposed to be training going on at this time, but they're doing it anyways.
Stop fraternizing. Ashoka is going to walk out onto the balcony.
Okay. Zed sees this. Nova just doesn't care, or...
Zed, a word if you don't mind. Ashoka then goes and sits down at the table, puts out some cups of tea. He puts one in front of where Magnus's chair is.
He's just going to spill it.
There's Quailsy. She's locked up.
Yeah. We're going to put one in front of where Magnus sits. We're going to put one...
Good fight, she says. It is just what she says, and she grabs the stick and glances up at Ashoka.
Good improvement. You're getting better.
It is not polite to keep the master waiting, Zed.
Cracks his neck.
Literally goes scrambling away from you.
He stretches. He stretches for like 10 seconds just to,
Okay. Are you bringing him into the room with Magnus, or have you closed that room off for a moment? And
We'll close that room off.
okay. You can hear a crash and a bang, and you're hearing some sort of commotion going on in there. But
Zed, could you please have a seat? Magnus is currently recovering from his wounds, yet we have a bit of a problem with the managerial status of our Ludus. We have a demanding challenge in front of us. Yeah? What's the problem? Well, the issue that we're having is with our gladiatory rank. We have to bring forward some tempi, and we're wondering, as you are training many of the gladiators here, who you would suggest to bring forward as gladiators. Who would make a good gladiator? Yes. The big tree seems ready to fight. I wouldn't put Vigo in. Vigo should be left to die of natural causes. Or burned. Would it be good for our name if we put Vigo in? No. Unless it was a thing of mercy. Who else? Who else should we be looking at? What is your opinion of the Nagaji? Zed looks suspiciously at the Nagaji, asking about the Nagaji. She's strong. She does what she's told. To a point. Just looking to see if there's any obvious flaws.
You've trained with her a little bit. They've been here. She's been in the Ludus for a few weeks now.
Yeah. Don't know too much. I don't believe she's ready for that status. I'd like to see her work as a Tempi first. I think that is only appropriate. What about Nova? She's training. She's not ready yet. She's 81 out of 84. She needs ability points, and she's... I think Zargon should come forward. Zargon does not fight without me. Well?
Then you're either going to have to volunteer to fight with him, or you're going to have to train Zargon to fight alone. Or we'll find someone who will.
That wasn't part of the deal. I can't guarantee his actions if I'm not in the ring. We fight beasts, not men.
You will fight what you're told.
Well, somebody will need to take your place. To protect the dragon, you need me to fight? You need me to kill men? Is that the idea? Murder for hire?
It's gladiatorial combat. Let's not get melodramatic.
Entertaining the masses. But yes, people do die in there. That's why you put in people who are skilled.
Such a polite conversation.
Yeah, it's a polite fucking conversation, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. Thank you for acknowledging this, Master Zed.
Where's Magnus?
He's shitting himself in the next room if you care.
You're another crash. Zed kind of knows there's a triumvirate here, and he might be smart enough to realize that while Magnus is recovering from his horrible wounds, he came back in a wheelbarrow, unconscious.
If I don't agree with the fight, then we don't fight.
No, unacceptable.
Nem whispers into...
Then perhaps Nova will just have to fight a bunch of death fights.
Ashoka has the subtle nod and agreed. You will not have to fight in any fight you do not want to fight.
Phineas
Same
raises
goes for
his
the-
eyebrows, but listens to the exact wording of his statement.
Shame for the dragon. Agreed. You will have right of refusal for Zargon in a fight. Now, if Zargon chooses to fight voluntarily, you will not twist his mind. No magics. He's a being of his own will. Who am I to twist someone's mind?
Not very polite.
No, it's not polite at all. Your terms are agreed. Is that right, Phineas?
For the season. We'll renegotiate next season. We'll see how you perform.
Battle of the Lawfuls. The lawful neutral talking to the lawful... What is Phineas? Lawful neutral?
Lawful neutral.
And then Ashoka, lawful evil. They're like, yeah, deals and words.
Deals and words and exact meanings. And...
I will require payment through gear and magics, as will Zargon. Placate his...
Zargon is our
essence.
property and will receive what he gets. He is a valuable asset. We don't want anything happening to him.
Zed, you've also noticed that Zargon has...
I'll be right back.
Has, his growth has slowed. And he spends a lot of time sleeping. Like, if I just looking at what you've done with him in the last 6 weeks...
Not much.
He received some training. He was idle. He got entertained. He was idle and got entertained.
Yep.
He naps a lot.
He needs to do something. For this season. Agreed. Would you like it in writing, or will a handshake suffice? Stone or brass? Oh. Old school, are we?
So there's a contract being written up in stone or brass? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Nothing that burns.
Oh, right, the Kozuthan thing. And you're calling Zargon up.
Zargon and Zed.
Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste this row and then change its color. And that will mean Zargon is your 5th gladiator, and then Zed is the 6th gladiator. I'll delete that row and delete that row. Okay, that's really interesting. Team Zedgon.
Team's gone.
Zedgon.
Zedgon will wreck face.
All right. This is the same. It looks like we need to plan the rest of this particular week, and we can plan a few weeks ahead while we're waiting for Ahmed to return to unfuckery the other Ludus.
No, it's not it's more like side, sort of get it twisted a little bit. So
Let's see, make sure we got this in view. All right, so Ashoka is doing some training. What are you guys doing with your gladiators? Sona, Fleas, Brog, Zargon, and Zed now. It looks like Zed's got to do some training, so I imagine you're not doing anything with Zargon during that time.
Yep.
So just marking him as idle.
I think he's good status, etc. Right?
His morale is good. His attitude's good. He doesn't mind the religion here. And he is a Gestalt, so...
Yep. Okay.
Everything's fine. We're all fine. Okay. So, what are we doing with gladiators? Are there any... Excuse me. Are there any level ups that need to happen?
Let me see.
Any training?
Sona says need training to 6th. Oh, I think he is 6th. I think that might be an old note.
No, I think I just went ahead and leveled him up, and he needs training.
He needs the training. Fleas is 5th. Brog is 5th. Old Vigo is 4th. Nova needs training. She needs ability scores and all sorts of damn things.
Okay.
She needs a whack of training. Bannock is her, and Quailsy has good ability scores. So.
Okay, so Sona needs to train. He needs 6 successes to train. Train 0 out of 6. You do have arcane facilities that can help train him, so you get 4 dice, and you've got 4 dice for training.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing all of it on Sona until he's done, or are you splitting them up?
Yes. We'll put it all on Sona for now because he's a proper gladiator.
Okay. Fleas, Sona, and Brog had a really vicious fight, so they do need some medical. They could just, as long as they have one block of meds, their physicality will return.
Okay, so give them medical.
Okay. Entertainment. Does anyone need to be entertained? Wizard Ling is still locked in his cage, so is Quailsy. Nova doesn't still. Her morale's a little low.
So entertain.
Okay. So you're showing that you can be nice to Nova for Zed?
Yep.
That's so creepy. E4 on Nova. Alright. Like, look, we can take care of our gladiators. Look how nice it is.
Nice everything is. Meals and things and all.
Okay, we might as well do 2 weeks at once. And it looks like everyone else is pretty much idle during this time. Okay, give me 8 d6s. We're looking for 6 successes for Sona's training.
It was, how many dice is it? Yeah, 10 dice?
8.
8 dice? Fuck yeah!
Look at that!
Bramzo!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 successes. Okay, so Sona is now 6th level. Alright. Which means that you can start to train. Well, actually, Nova needs. She was getting entertained. Her morale goes back up to 1. And then all of the negatives on the bodies are now 0. So everyone's had a bit of rest after 2 weeks. It looks like no fighting was done in those 2 weeks. Magnus is back up on his feet. And we need to roll a 80% random encounter for the Ludus.
4.
There is a random event that happens for the Ludus. Let's see what this is. Yes. The random event, D100.
78.
Favorable. Give me a D100.
33.
To a particular gladiator.
Okay.
we separate the gladiators from the masters. So it's Sona, Fleas, Brog, Zargon, Wizardling, Old Vigo, Nova, Baden, and Quailsy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. A D9.
Please?
Fleas? Okay.
Yes!
A D2?
2!
And a D12.
10!
Sona, or Fleas. Let's have a look here. Fleas has an epiphany and is learning how to be more charming around other people, and his charisma it boosts by 1.
That's pretty awesome. He is a bard, don't you know? So
Yep.
it's like an inherent bonus?
No, it's just a base bonus.
So he's now 85 out of 84.
So his charisma is now
16 base.
Yeah, 16 base, 17. I've edited it, so we probably
We just made a conflict,
yeah,
sir.
we just made a conflict page.
Cool. Which means we could retrain his level bonus?
What do you mean?
Well, so I put we turned the charisma got turned on odd by his 4th.
Yeah, I guess you could retrain his level bonus. Yes.
If that's something that it's a thing that we could be doing. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to give it some thought. Or we can, or this makes the level 8 just put it to charisma, and he could be like a really sexy bard man.
Okay, and then because there's nothing else like going on in the next week, there's just a bunch of master training and
Next D100?
yeah, the next D100 it drops down to 20% chance for a random event.
59.
Okay, so that will go up to 40 for the next week. There are fights that you can set up. Nobody seems to be coming to your Ludus to set up fights.
Yeah, we need to set up some fights. Shok is going to go set up some fights, if possible. We need to... The quick recap is Magnus got beat by the Beastmasters, and then we won in the street brawl.
Yep.
Against the newcomers.
Yep.
So I guess I have like 2 go talk to a guys. So with Ashoka. So let's go talk to a guy for we also learned that we have to do something about the kid. Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to keep track of all the plot threads. Last session with Shoka, we learned that Phineas made friends with somebody who was paying to try to get Phineas killed. Specifically Isram. We will visit the Knights, the Broken Shield.
Okay.
To see if they would like to have a fight.
The Duke and the mob. Everyone likes a winner. Okay. Wow, your Ludus is not very friendly, or not very popular.
I wonder how that happened.
Okay, so Ashoka is going to talk to which Ludus, and you're bringing Nem along, I guess.
Yep. I'll bring them along. Going to see the Broken Shield.
The Broken Shield,
Yep.
whom you've never visited before.
Should we have? They're like the first people we visited. Am I confused?
The Broken Shield,
Wait
the
a sec.
charming lady. Lady
No,
Daystar?
sorry, the other ones. The Knights of Vatapole.
Oh, okay. You didn't want to go see Lady Daystar?
No, I don't want to go to the charming lady. She's too charming. I don't have a magic circle against her yet. I don't know what her alignment is.
Got it. So you go to the Knights block, and you're searching for the guy who pretends he's aristocratic, Lord Nori Northram.
Yep.
You hear a commotion going on at the Knights block. It's middle of summer, and you can see some laughing and people drinking and a bunch of the Knights standing around. And they are making their halfling servants, about a half dozen of them, fight each other in a little sporting game. You see them wearing oversized helmets, and they've got these quarterstaffs that they're whacking each other over the helmets with, much to the amusement of the Knights of Vatapole that are all getting drunk and standing around and laughing. You can see a couple of the halflings are already knocked out. you kind of spy in on their fun. Lord Nori sees you. He's like, he waves you over.
Okay, I will head over. Nori, how are you doing, sir?
Well, we're just having a little bit of a celebration after defeating some of our opponents in the arena.
Yes.
I must say it's rather refreshing. Haven't seen your Ludus about. Are you too afraid to fight in the civic arena now?
Oh no. Although I just reorganizing.
Yes, I hear that one of those beasties almost got Magnus. Sorry to have missed it.
There was many fights happening simultaneously. I did not witness the event myself, although it is true that, well, let's just say that Chabagast didn't take it easy on us.
No, he's got some powerful friends. Those wizards are going to provide him with all sorts of nasties. He still has that megaphant wandering around.
I think he was sore about his spider, to be perfectly honest.
Yes. I have a feeling that he's trying to find some giant to ride the megaphant. Just a rumor. He smiles. What can I do for you, Ashoka? Is this business or pleasure?
Well,
he smiles.
Business is pleasure. Not quite in the same way of some of the
servants go over and fill his cup, and they offer you a cup of what smells like a really fruity bouquet wine.
Okay, he'll take it.
Okay.
He takes the smallest of sips.
Yeah, Nem also climbs up your hand and kind of sips, licks the wine and crawls back down. Nori, you could tell he doesn't like the imp, or he's polite enough or refined enough not to voice his displeasure, but he gave it a look like it was like a rodent, and it was disgusting with what it just did. He doesn't complain, though, but there was a flash across his face that you saw. Yeah. I assume that you want to arrange some sort of fight between the Knights of Vatapole and the champions.
Yeah, the champions. Only for the season.
Wow.
Last season.
Maeve, Magnus, and then whoever wins. This season, in the fall season, we'll get to fight Maeve in some sort of concoction, some contraption or crazy battle. Who knows what it's going to be. But winning the right to go and fight before our regent and our emperor, our future prince, I mean, who is representing the emperor. You can tell he's a little bit drunk, perhaps the right time to talk to him.
So, a...
Oh, come on! You could fight. You could hit better than that. Hit him again, or 3 lashes. Halfling kind of stumbles forward. Bang! Hits another halfling that's clearly like not all there, and the helmet's all sideways, and that halfling hits the dirt. Ah, everyone needs to know their place.
Yes. What kind of place would you like to show?
What do you mean, Ashoka? Whatever do you mean?
Well, last season we had a bit of a rivalry with the goblin. It seemed like a safe stance to take on the public stage, but I think we need to move.
I wouldn't want to get between you and the Goblin Queen. As civilized as they pretend to be, they're going to be rather savage this year.
Yeah, it's a bit of an intricate dance, I think, that we are undergoing.
I'm sure she'll be willing to set up she'd be willing to have a rematch of some sort. She talks about it all the time. He smiles.
Yes, although I feel that maybe for personal reasons I might have been pursuing that a little too heavily. So I better let it cool a little bit.
Oh?
Might be a snake thing.
Tell me. You seem to have arranged a fight rather quickly with this Circus of Dread. Well, I would have never guessed that that Lady Bellavina's family would ever sponsor a gladiatorial ludus, and yet the Circus of Dread comes, has a fight with you, and then runs off to the north into who the hell knows war-torn lands to entertain the troops, taking one Damien Van Imp with them. Very curious series of events.
Yes.
Lady Bellavina has refused my summons, he says.
She is young and frail.
So, what is your connection to the old bat?
The Countess?
Yes. Countess, he says with a bit of contempt.
I have no connection to the Countess. I do have, it's rather public knowledge that I am connected with the one Damien. But it was a military posting, as far as I know.
This all-in Lightbringer. A religious sort, I'm assuming, by the name.
Yes, and his actions could very well lead to part of the reason why they had to leave so quickly.
Ah, I see.
Flaunting the power of not the five-faced god.
Yes,
Not
here that
in
he's
public space,
that he healed his gladiators quite well at the end of that match.
as well as half the crowd.
Interesting, that's what he says. Too bad that they're off in God's knows which backwater town to the north. Stroking the egos of elves, perhaps.
Yes.
Still, not why you came here. Unfortunate that you don't have any connections with that family.
Most unfortunate.
Yes, we can arrange a fight. What sort of fight do you want to arrange?
Nothing overly extravagant. Although,
Yes?
we were thinking about bringing the dragon back into the ring.
Oh my. Knights against dragons, eh? Sounds exciting.
Yes.
I've got a couple of men, if you can call them that. Hydrax the Serpent and the Wolf Knight. They're looking for suitable challenges.
Zargon requires his handler.
And who is that?
His name is Zed, half-orc. He was in the arena once before.
Ah, yes, I remember. The green fellow.
Yes. Stymied those goblins with a wall of wind.
He shakes his head, whether he remembers or not. He doesn't seem very interested. Hydrax has recently achieved the heroic tier. No, sorry. He says, the Wolf Knight has recently achieved the heroic tier, and of course he rides a very large wolf into battle. Hydrax the Serpent is a veteran. Although one more major victory, he may become heroic. Hydrax the Serpent and the Wolf Knight against your handler and the dragon. Sounds like an even match. Now, what were you saying about what sort of match do I want?
Rules.
Yeah.
Goals.
40 feet. No,
That would be
30 feet.
Hmm.
30 feet of chain around your dragon's neck.
And the size of the arena?
The arena?
Riders of horses can be very, very destructive if they're allowed to swathe in and out.
Blunt tip lances, then.
Good.
Standard 10,000 in case something goes wrong. Ah, and yes, only 500 for the horse and the wolf. The wolf, however, will be hard to display. Will be hard to replace.
Make it 2,000 for the wolf.
Ah, excellent. And the Imperium has definitely taken care of the problem with spells cast beforehand. He smiles. A standard half an hour upon the stones.
A standard half an hour upon the stones.
Yeah, you guys, since the reopening of the Civic Arena, you guys skipped the first 2 weeks of the Civic Arena and ended up training and yeah.
All right.
The chain, I suppose, will have to be rigged to some sort of we could have it within 20 or so feet of the stones. I don't think the Imperials will like us drilling into them.
Maybe the stones don't nullify anything. You just have to stand there till your magic wears off.
Just Just stand there for half an hour.
That'll get rid of your minute per levels, right? That's most of the problem.
Now, my favorite part. Would you like to put a wager upon this, Ashoka?
Sure.
You may as well make it a big one, because if he dies, you're dead.
Not too big. 10 talents?
Oh, sometimes I don't get out of bed for 10 talents.
Each?
20 talents. Make it 30.
There'll still be profit even if there is an accident.
He smiles. Precisely.
Agreed.
Back to your original question. It would make my knights look really good to win this battle.
It would.
Or to win a battle.
Yes.
I hear that Magnus is no longer invincible.
No. Though he's quite stubborn.
Yes, he is.
If you wish to have a battle that is easier to win.
I have 5 of my knights that lost in the end of championship games. I would like to pose that we have a battle with those 5 knights against Magnus. A rematch, if you will. 5 against 1. A horde of local boys... No, a ride of local boys against the invading barbarian.
Without horses?
No, horses, lances, their heavy armor, the whole kit and caboodle. Magnus can bring whatever swords he wants. Preferably that one that just leaves bruises of his. But he can wave his flaming one around. I know that he likes to impress the fan of man and all.
Yes.
Wide open spaces. I hear that Magnus is good on his feet. Well, I saw that Magnus is good on his feet. Might be good exercise for him.
5 versus 1 would be a hard sell for Magnus.
Oh, come now. Not all of them will be of Magnus's quality. And even if one were heroic, I doubt that they could take on Magnus. Still, we do want a close fight in the end. Let me just take a look at the...
It's funny, Mark.
There are 4 blooded knights and 1 barely heroic. Just recently made his way there.
Where's that? Because that cheat sheet is that part of the Ludus sheet? Because the code words are getting lost. I think he said a 4th and an 8th. 4th and an 8th is what I heard. But I think
there is a definitions sheet.
Yeah.
I can copy paste it. A little table.
Blooded
4 fifths and an 8th.
Yeah. I would be surprised if the 5ths can hit him if he's got something up.
If he has something up, they won't hit him. The 8th.
Outside.
The problem is they're lances, right?
Yeah.
1 crit wrecks his face and he's done.
Yeah.
that would require blunted lances as well.
On the other hand, we saw from the last time he fought, horses don't really stand up that well against him.
What level? Magnus is 9th right now?
Once he gets his brain back and he's trained, yeah.
See, the issue with this fight is it doesn't actually... It's face for Nori, but I think that's not the right direction to get the face.
Magnus already has a loss. I don't think this is the way to...
No. Well, no, this is like... No, I think Magnus will win that fight, honestly.
Yeah, I think he does too, but if I thought you were...
This isn't helping, exactly.
Nori's thinking that if he puts the same group of warriors that fought in the final fight just against Magnus, that he'll win. Because Magnus had his whole team around him. Like, that's his line of thinking.
Yeah, well, that's what he's... Yeah, I know, yeah. That's what he's thinking.
Then he clearly wasn't watching the championship match.
Yeah, it's one of those. Alright, so...
Come on, Magnus against a big line of charging horses?
Oh, it's not some fight. It's getting the number of fights in. So, well, I think we should, Mark. I think I should agree to this, but have it set for 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's got to have time to recover and train.
Magnus will not be ready for this engagement for 4 weeks. A match between the four-blooded versus our Sona, Fleas, and this new frog. What was it? Brog?
Brog is the one that eats people, isn't he?
I've heard rumor. I could bluff if you like.
He knows. You could bluff to see if you don't know your own gladiator's predilections to eat people. Sure. He knows that Brog eats people. So yeah, give me a bluff. Like, oh, really? I should look into
45.
He gives you a look and... yes, he is a new member of your Ludus. He's like trying to explain in his own mind how it is that you don't know. I would watch out for him. He ate a monk's head up north. I think he's friends with that noble that chums around your Ludus. You know, the one that helped Magnus win?
Yes. Nobles. Some of them aren't to be trusted.
Yes. Yes, Ashoka, you are correct. No, I think those 2 matches against your Ludus, we wouldn't want people to start talking that we only have fights against each other. And Brog, no, I don't think I can convince any of my knights to fight him. It was supposed to be a non-lethal match at the pit of the stone gods, or the pit of the old gods.
Yes. I will need to have a word with this Brog.
So then, Magnus against 5 of the knights. A rematch, if you will, in spirit. Of course, we can't take the championship away from him. Not until the end of the season.
To give the man a fighting chance, I must insist that we have a... Oh, what would be the right term? Some obstacles to sort of maneuver around, to provide a show of horsemanship at a minimum.
Some raised platforms. Some boxes or barrels, 5 feet off the ground.
Yes.
I'll have the Guild of Carpenters whip something up. Not too high, though.
Yes. Wouldn't want anybody not being able to reach.
Are we going to put a wager on this match?
somewhat pains me to do so, considering should I be betting against your should I be betting on your men?
He smiles at that. Magnus's sword, the fiery one, the gift from the fan of man. And I'll provide one of our special and magical blunt lances, should you win.
Have you met the fan of man?
I believe so, he says. like there's some uncertainty there. Oh, come on! Get some fresh ones. These ones are starting to tire. There's a couple of halflings stumbling around with oversized helmets. And there are more halflings being brought out. These ones look scareder and wimpier than the ones that were there before. Oh. He seems upset at the quality of his own stock of his own servants.
So this guy's basically the medieval equivalent of a fan of midget wrestling.
Fight for your dinner! He then goes to a snuff box and takes a little scoop of something and snorts it up the sides of his nose and wipes it a little bit and puts down the snuff box.
Is there a particularly
he actually
timid
offers some...
halfling in the ring?
He offers you some. It's not for everyone.
Yes. I'm going to suggest that the timidest halfling in the ring basically beat the other halfling till the jelly comes out.
Okay, so you start casting a spell. Be as ferocious as you can. The halfling's like, huh? Ah! That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Give me a 3d6 versus 2d6 for the other halflings. He ends up beating the crap out of two other halflings. What did you do to him? I might have to invite you over here more often.
A little bit of courage. Just a suggestion. You might want to stop him.
Yeah, let's just see where this goes. Oh. Now, Nori's an asshole. Roger's a bit of a dick. Nori is a raging asshole.
I cannot wager the gift from the fan of man.
10 talents and a lance.
You have not met the fan of man. I cannot wager a gift from the fan of man. He's trying to, I guess, he's imparting seriousness in his voice.
Okay.
Of all the people I don't want up my ass, it's fan of man.
20 talents and a lance. Just win then.
Agreed.
Excellent. I'll have my my arbiters draft the contracts and send them over for your perusal. And feel free to suggest a date. We can schedule this any time before the end of the year. I'm sure that these 5 gladiators will be chomping at the bit, as they speak, to get into the battlefield with Magnus. As for this dragon and Hydrax and the Wolf Knight and Zed, let's schedule this one as soon as possible.
Agreed.
Good to see you come out of your shell, Ashoka, is what he says. I was wondering what happened to you. Rumors that your group got attacked by something nefarious.
No, it's a snake thing.
Again.
It had to molt.
Ah. Well. Look forward to seeing more of your skills. Now, if you excuse me, all this blood crying has made me rather hungry.
Of course. Good day, Lord Nori.
Sure can.
No, it wasn't that polite.
He is very polite, but he has an edge to him. He might have a temper.
Yes.
Okay, so fights. When are you doing the dragon fight?
The next block.
Okay, and Zed? That fight? Okay.
So, wait a second. Okay, there's this, bets and matches gladiators. Okay, so...
Week 27?
Season 2, week 27, it's,
Zed and Zargon versus Hydrax and the Wolf Knight.
Zargon versus Hydrax and Wolf Knight. This is in the Catapult
Civic Arena? Yep.
Arena, or Civic Arena. Sorry, I'm Drax and Wolf Knight. And this is it, and Zargon. The other thing I have to do is go and actually get Zargon and Zed registered in their, like...
Yeah, that happens. That doesn't need a scene.
The bet is 1-1, or the odds. This is like, fuck, what? M1 odds. Don't know what M1 means. There's no M2, so why do we have an M1?
I don't know. I didn't create this sheet.
Oh man, what is M? What did M1 stand for? Okay.
Magnus 1, or it's the column name, or
I don't know.
Match 1.
So the bets, it's 30K with Nori.
Yep.
With 1-1 odds.
Yep.
The winner will find out. The other bet, the other thing that's just, why don't you table? Season, I think it should be week 31.
I think if you hit tab and you're in the last cell, it goes to a new line.
Okay. I was hitting enter and it wasn't doing it. So I think it's week 31 would be 4 weeks later. Vatapole.
You're doing 4 weeks later?
That's Magnus and...
Okay.
Well, here, I'll go week 31. I'll put a question mark there.
Because he's finished his training on week 27. He could fight week 28.
Oh. Okay, we'll put him on week 28 with a question mark.
Okay.
And it's Magnus versus 4-blooded plus 1 heroic knight. The odds on this are unknown. Should be like 2-1. Whatever.
In favor of Magnus, or?
No, against Magnus. I would assume. I mean, theoretically, that one knight versus Magnus should be 1-1.
Right.
At the same tier.
A bunch of guys riding by aiding the the one attack to
a bunch of jabronis on horses. It's like, you know.
Right.
This is the worst fight. Okay, so this is.
Yeah, we'll say 2-1. That seems fair.
All right, 2-1. Now.
Now your bet with him is not 2-1. It's just the public.
Yeah.
The public.
That would be the public odds.
Yeah.
So bet is sword from Fan of Man for 20K plus merciful
Lance.
Full Lance against Nori. So one of the things that Phineas needs to be working on is a fake Fan of Man sword.
which he will not have done in time for that.
Well, we have a question mark by that 28, so I think we're going to make a fake fan of Mansoor. Before we have that fight.
Interesting. Like with the same amount of magics on it, but just not
Well,
the actual sword?
it'll be a flaming...
That'll be a replica.
It'll be a replica that has +1 flaming on it.
Nice. Which I think will take Phineas fast crafting 1 week to do. So you could get Phineas to delay his dungeon ring.
Yeah.
By 1 sort of week, and we can go fake sword or replica sword. Replica is the right word.
Phineas, that seems reasonable with you.
That's fine with me.
Perfect.
You find you don't even have to explain why. He's just, oh, okay, fine.
All right. There are some other fights you need to set up. Sona flees Brog have only had 1 fight in the season. Zargon now being called up still needs to do 2 more fights. Magnus has got 2 fights in, and Zed only has 1 fight. You are actually receive a letter from the Grim Goblin Queen.
Oh.
Stating that anytime you wish to have a match, she has gladiators.
Okay.
There's also a do you respond to this message or not?
Ashoka responds. Perfect. He just rolls the letter up. It goes on the shelf, and we don't respond yet.
Okay. There is a nervous-looking messenger that arrives. The messenger is wearing strange leathers over part of his face, and he looks like some scrappy person from the pit fights. He's got a package, like a basket with a leather covering over top of it.
Okay. Yes.
Are you one of the Lannisters of this Ludus?
Yes.
He looks really nervous. I've got a message for you.
All right.
This gift from one of our independent gladiators.
I'm gonna cast a charm on him.
Okay.
A charm monster.
Oh shit. Does a 14 make it on a save?
No. Come, dear boy. Please, have a seat.
He comes and sits down. You notice some flies come out of the basket.
What's your name?
It's Drask is my name, sir.
Would you like some tea, Drask?
It is. You don't have anything a little stronger. He kind of fidgets and itches a little bit.
Of course.
He's got bloodshot eyes and he's really skinny and there's lots of scars.
We'll get some like sherry.
He looks at the bottle. Is this dragon juice?
It's a 31. It's a 31 firebrand.
Oh, he looks kind of disappointed, but he takes the glass anyways, and he smiles and he sips on it. And I really didn't expect such a nice Given that there's a head of a Corsican barbarian in the basket, it's a gift.
Show me.
Sure. And he apparently has no problem showing you the head. He just sort of rips it off. See the black hair, Corsican? And you notice that there's this big, like, gold glittery paint mark all the way across the dude's face. He calls himself Gold Tooth.
Ah, does he? Is he registered?
He's now. He's killed quite a few people down in the pits, and he's won a few bets, and now he wants to fight the champion.
All right. What does he use for weapons?
He is a weapon.
Oh.
Claws, teeth, he's some sort of dragon man, maybe? Some creature they captured in some tropical island somewhere to the south. The Imperials go everywhere. Apparently he killed a bunch of them, and, well, I think now he's won his independence, I think. I don't know, really. I was just told to come here to deliver. There was a Corsican barbarian, a slave. He was really strong, and well, Goldtooth ripped him apart.
Does he have friends, this Goldtooth?
She's quite popular around the pits now.
Could you rally a few other fighters to come with him for a fight in the arena?
Well, it's not really the style of those of the pits, but I'm sure there's a few killers that could come along, yes? You're going to accept the fight? I was told not to come back if he doesn't accept the fight. I would like to go back. They've got dragon juice down there.
Yes. Could you do me a favor when you do get back?
Sure. You're sort of like him with your scales. And he smiles.
Yes. Could you bring me some of this dragon juice? It sounds very intriguing.
Do you have any money?
Sure.
I could get some dragon juice if you gave me some gold. Some imperial ducats or whatnot.
How much?
Well, given that we're friends, I could pay you back. He's lying.
All right. Tell Goldtooth or his handler that we will accept a match with him and...
He looks nervous for a moment. Like, he looks excited, but he's nervous. Go to...
Why don't we get a pen? Get a quill. Write this down.
Okay, he says. A servant comes over, and one of the Verfneblin is writing things down for you.
Right, it's the whole... We need something to write for him.
Yeah.
All right.
He's sitting there jittery, drinks his stuff. He doesn't seem to like it too much, but he's drinking it anyways, and he's looking around.
I want to know what the dragon juice is, because I think we need Phineas to whip us up some of that drug.
Like fantasy opium or something.
Right. It's perfect. I think Phineas needs to know how to create the drug supply of the city and the underground, because if we need throwaway fighters, yeah.
I know just the guy to get the juice from.
Know who just to get the juice from. Excellent.
His name's Dreg. His name is Dreg.
Dreg's got the best stuff.
Dreg juice. All right. Dragon juice. All right. This Goldtooth, as well as it will be Goldtooth, Zed, Zargon, Sona, Fleas, and Brock.
No, Goldtooth wants to just fight Magnus.
I know, but he's going to have to get some friends to help a fight. We can make it to 2 fights. Goldtooth will fight Magnus if he can find warriors that will fight Zed, Zargon, Sona, Fleas, and Brock.